Bullying is a major problem for the LGBT youth who are often harassed by schoolmates because of their sexual orientation. The Gay, Lesbian, Straight Education Network, GLSEN, aims to prevent bullying in schools. But of course, bullying is a problem with straight kids as well. At GLSEN's Awards Gala, we discovered one star who was a victim of childhood bullying.
Suffering is just prolonged pain, and a lot of times we suffer a lot more than we need to.
Dancing with the Stars pro Derek Hough, recipient of GLSEN's Inspiration Award, on how he suffered at the hands of bullies as a kid.
On one occasion, they would tie my ankles up with a very rough rope, hang me in a tree upside down, and spit on me and call me names, and even hold a gun to my head. I didn't tell anybody. Dance became my GLSEN. It became my safe place.
How are you, Derek?
Good, how you doing?
Good, you look very handsome.
Thank you. I just got off a plane from Australia, so good eye.
How was Australia with Bethany?
It was good. It was short, very short trip, but fun. I climbed the bridge, I just did some things. It was fun.
Nice. Congratulations on being honored tonight. Inspiration Award. That's got to feel really good.
Yeah, it's always it's a massive, massive honor, but it always feels a little like, I always feel a little undeserving. You feel a little, for certain things like this, right. But a huge honor to be here, absolutely.
I was really surprised to hear that you were bullied as a kid, just because you're such a nice guy, you're so outgoing.
No, yeah, it was, it's wild because, reflecting on it, and I wrote about it in my book a little bit, and it's weird because it's something that I never really expect to be talking about or to share, but I feel like that sort of is what I do. I share my creativity, I share my choreography, my dance, and sharing my stories, so it just seemed kind of natural thing to do, and and it's been nice to be able to connect with certain people who've gone through similar things, and
you never know who you're helping.
And just to sort of some insight that I've gained and some things that I've learned that have helped me. The thing is that suffering is just prolonged pain, and a lot of times we suffer a lot more than we need to, and sometimes you think that you need to go through this suffering in order to come out the other end, but
to make you stronger.
But you don't. You really don't. Like it's like that's why there's people there, mentors, things like that, to give you the shortcuts. Say, hey, you know what? You don't have to spend 5 years, dwelling over something. It's not gonna, you can, get over this in a heartbeat if you choose to, because we always have that choice, So I feel like it's important for them to know that they have that power. You have that power. And to move on from something.
Now I know why you're getting the Inspiration Award. Very inspiring.
Oh, thanks, thank you very much.
Dancing with the Stars, how was the switch up?
I loved it. I had a ball. I went to Louisiana. I've never shot a gun in my life, and so all of a sudden I was shooting guns, and it was my voice deepened from it. I was like, I'm a man now. I feel more manly. I'm not even kidding though. I swear, after shooting those guns, my testosterone levels went through the roof. I came home and I was like walking like this.
How's everybody doing?
Yeah, I was like, hey, what's up? No, it was fun. I had a great time. I'm going to buy a farm. That's it. I'm going to buy a farm.
You found your calling.
I'm doing it. Country boy at heart.
In Nashville, congrats on that. How much fun did you have?
Yeah, I might buy the farm in Nashville. No, it was fun. It was great. Hayden and the whole cast were just amazing and so nice and welcoming and warm. So, yeah, it was a great experience. It was wonderful.
It's always nice to see you, Derek.
You too.
Have a good time tonight.
You've been very open about your own experiences with bullying as a child. Tell me about that experience and also how you overcame it.
Well, I had some neighbors who were pretty much tormented my family. It wasn't great. We ended up having to move because it got so bad. But for me, it wasn't like it didn't feel like it was one of those things like where I overcame. It was more when I got older and I found dance that was gave me a purpose, gave me a focus and a motivation. But looking back on it, I really just made me sort of think about it and why people feel like they have to do that to somebody and why, and now and not just bullying in what we think of as, physical abuse and, but now it's social media, now it's everywhere. It's just constant, it's negativity, really. Overcoming it was really the realizing that when you love yourself, when you love who you are, you're only going to give love. And so people who project hate and project negativity, especially through social media, are clearly seeking something that they're taking because there's nothing in there. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I just mean that they're not allowing themselves to feel the goodness that they already have inside themselves.
How does it feel to have a platform like Dancing with the Stars and just dance in general to be able to tell these kinds of stories?
You know, it's wonderful. It's something I never really thought about. You know, I never like thought, oh, you know, one day I'm going to tell people about this or anything like that. And it just sort of was like a natural, I don't know, progression. And I just wanted to share. For me to share certain stories in my life, you know, it seemed very natural. And for me, like, I just want to I want to be a servant. I want to you know, help and serve people and you know, I want to be forgiving. You know, I want to be forgiving to others. It's a massive, massive honor. I think you always feel a little bit undeserving, you know, for things like this. But you know, I feel very, you know, honored to be in this position and to accept this award tonight. Yeah, it's nice. It really begins with the person, you know, and I feel like that sometimes bullies don't even realize they're bullying. You know, so I feel like that the word needs to be broadened, and it's not so much that kid in the playground type thing. It's, you know, the tweets, if you're not building somebody up, if you're not, you know, encouraging somebody, then you're putting them down, you know, in any type of way, you know, that's this form of bullying. And I feel like that if we all kind of find that sort of distinguish those lines, so that that line being too blurred, you know, I think we'll begin to sort of break the chain, because it's sort of like a chain effect. And I think that, you know, it always begins with yourself and with you. And also, you know, hearing things, and you can't always control what happens outside of you, but you can always control, you know, the way you perceive things, the way you take things, and, you know, the way you filter them. And so, you know, it's always difficult to say stop doing something to somebody, but you can always control and say, well, you know what, I'm gonna let that be I'm gonna be transparent and let that pass through me instead of holding on to that. So I don't know, it's just an important thing. I love the way you said that. We're the lesbian crew.
Yeah, and we have a crush on you too.
Ah.
I saw you on the morning show talking about being bullied.
The association with dance has changed dramatically, I feel like. You know, it's no longer, when you see these professional athletes, you know, the Super Bowl winners, you know, out of breath and saying, man, this cha-cha is hard, then you're like, oh, well, hey, if those guys are manly men, then hey, if they think this is pretty difficult stuff, then this must be some serious stuff. But you know, when I was bullied, actually, it wasn't even necessarily to do with dance. It was actually before I danced. It started even before that. And, you know, growing up, looking back on it, reflecting on it, it made me realize that, you know, you'd only power over others is weakness in disguise. If you feel like you need to overpower somebody, then you're not loving yourself. You're not full. If you're taking from somebody, then, you know, if you're full, you're only going to give. You know, if you love yourself, you're only going to love. And that's, you can never really truly control things around you in the exterior, but you always have control of yourself and how you take things and how you perceive things. And if you feel confident and strong in who you are, you're only going to give love, you're only going to get compassion. And that's sort of the message I want to get out there, especially with the social media and the, you know, all these things that, you know, come in and it's just negative, and, you know, you can't say, hey, stop that, you know, I mean, you can't, it's hard to do that, to control that, but to not take it to heart, not to make it so personal, and to hurt yourself, because you're just carrying that burden, you know, and it's, I hate seeing that, I hate feeling that. I've felt that many times before, you know, and it's just not worth it. You know, follow your bliss, follow what you love and what you are passionate about. And, you know, if you follow that and you're strong with that, people will respect you for it. They will. I think that when you start to become ashamed of what you do or who you are, what you might do, you know, there's almost like a sense of that. People might sense that. To own who you are, to own what you are, to own what you do, and that confidence will project out, and people will respect you for that.